Ladies and gentlemen, I have the similar honor to invite to this stage our Lady DZADZAMA QUAO to take us through CSR policies and requirements. A round of applause for her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So as you already introduced, I am NAA DZADZAMA. I'm a manager at PwC and also a member of the corporate responsibility team. At PwC, we are a professional services firm. We carry out audit and assurance, advisory and tax services to our clients. And we are not only committed to solving important problems to our clients, but we also like to make a difference to the community and society in which we operate. PwC champions both internal and external initiatives that align with the Sustainable Development Goals. These are 17 global goals established by the UN as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So at PwC, we've adopted 7 of these 17 goals, which are the good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean energy, decent work and economic growth, reduced inequalities, and climate change. Internally, we also have 4 quadrants that each initiative that we adopt should fall within, and these are inclusion and diversity, climate action, new world, new skills, and equitable access to opportunities. So I'll speak to these 4 quadrants. For inclusion and diversity, we empower marginal groups, including the disabled, women and children, to access opportunities everyone else should ideally have access to. With climate change, which is integral to our mission, we incorporate eco-friendly practices into our business operations, and we also partner with NGOs and NGOs to promote sustainability, recycling, upcycling, community cleanup drives, and other such initiatives. Our New World, New Skills initiative also represents proactive response to our ever-evolving digital landscape. PwC is dedicated to upskilling the workforce to prepare for the future, helping millions to improve their digital literacy skills. We also believe in equitable access to opportunities, as we are constantly investing in sustainable, needs-based projects that create value for the community and society. So we do not only provide financial aid to organizations, but also intangible and tangible in-kind support. So when I talk about intangible, it will be like imparting knowledge to organizations or groups, including financial literacy and career development, mental health awareness, and the likes. And we also have our in-kind tangible support, which includes food items, clothing, donations, tools and equipment to bodies that train individuals to, handiwork and things like that. Okay, so when we come to accepting proposals from bodies like most of you here, we have a criteria that we follow, or we have some steps that we follow. So day in and day out, we receive several proposals through our website portal, walk-ins, and letters that we receive at our front desk. And we go through these proposals first of all to ensure that they align with the 7 SDG goals that I have mentioned earlier. And also if they fall within the 4 quadrants that I said earlier, that's inclusion and diversity, equitable access to opportunities, new world, new skills, and climate action. So once we see that you align to the SDGs that we follow and also the 4 quadrants that we adopt, then you can move to the next stage. But if that's not the case, then we quickly communicate our non-acceptance of your proposal or your ask of us. Then we run a risk research on the organization as part of our risk management processes. We have to make sure that we are not dealing with fictitious organizations. You know, some organizations don't exist anywhere else apart from the letterhead that we send us. And we have to make sure that we are not dealing with overly exposed organizations that partnering with them can bring issues to our reputation and the like. So if our research comes out and we have the green light to proceed with you, then we have an initial meeting. It can be virtual, it can be in person, to discuss further your proposal. So we will look at what you have presented to us. If it's requiring a monetary donation, we look at the budget. Sometimes we are unable to support the full budget, but there are some key aspects that we can take up and fund. And then we also, just a second. Yeah, so we look at the budget, we look at the impact that you would like to make or the impact that you intend to make with your initiative or your proposal. And so there are some organizations that, let's say, they can support whatever they are trying to, the initiative that they are trying to implement, but they just need some help. And then there are others that are in dire need of the help. So that's what we usually like to partner with, or we like to assist those that we know that without any assistance you cannot move forward. Not the ones that are just nice to assist, but the ones that are really necessary to make an impact in society. So after we look at these in your proposal and we are convinced that you indeed are out there to make change, to drive change, to make a difference in society, we have an in-house review of your proposal after we've had a discussion and taken into consideration your proposal and then the information that we gather through our discussions with you. And when we do that, we also make sure that you have your requisite documentation. So if it's your tax certificate, if it's business registration document, just to make sure that you are compliant in all other areas. And thankfully today we've had the opportunity to also learn that there are other things that we should look out for, which we will also implement going forward. And so if your initiative is also to make impact in another organization, say a school, we'll make sure that you have the requisite approval from GES. If it's to make impact in health services, make sure that you have approval from Ghana Health Services to proceed with whatever initiative that you want to implement. And so once we are comfortable and convinced that you have all these, we have a final in-house deliberation. We look at our budget and whether we are able to fund you fully or the extent to which you are able to fund your initiative. And then we communicate that to your team or to the organization that we are dealing with. So pretty much I'll say that that's the process that we carry out in implementing or carrying out corporate responsibility at PwC. I do believe that a lot of these organizations go through similar steps, and so these are key areas you can look at in putting forward your proposals to organizations like ours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, please. Question, any questions? One question. One question. Just one.
Could she kindly go over the areas that they support? I think was a bit fast at that point. I didn't get you.
Come again.
Can you just go over the areas that your organization supports for funding?
So So I spoke about 4 quadrants that the initiatives should fall under. The climate action, is that what you're referring to? Climate action, equitable access to opportunities, new world, new skills, and inclusion and diversity. Is that clear?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is DZADZAMA from Legends Hub in the Western region. You mentioned that we can reach out to PwC via a website portal or via the front desk facility. Maybe you can advise which of them, let me say, you receive. Do we, or are we going to receive quick response? That we
That's a trick question. Honestly, you would receive responses via any of the, and if you use any of the channels that I mentioned. I forgot to mention email address as well. So if you have the email for any of the corporate responsibility team members, I can share mine. That's also another avenue that you can use. But yeah, you receive them. They all have equal chances.
So that will be our final question. That will be our. Is there another?
Okay, thank you very much.
Two more questions. And then we have
My name is Valeria. I'm from Smiles of Hope. So I want to find out, do you have a period that you often open up for applications? Are there periods for that?
Okay, so to be honest, we take applications all year round, but our financial year at PwC starts in July, and so we start putting together our strategy for the next year. Sometime in April, by May, we should have finalized our strategy. So initiatives or proposals that come around that time have very high benefits, because then when we start the financial year, we are starting with a new budget, and then the money is fully available. But as the year goes by, we draw down on our budgets, and so then later if you come say in January, we would have implemented a number of initiatives the year before, and so we may not have so much available as we would at the beginning of the year.
okay. Final question.
Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Ivana, and I work with the PwC. So I would like you to kindly go over the 7 of the 17 SDGs. And if you could clarify a bit on new world, new skills, that would be helpful. Thank you.
The 7 SDG goals that we are aligned with are good health and well-being. That's SDG 3. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 10, reduce inequalities. And SDG 13, climate action, sorry. And so New World, New Skills, it basically represents our response to the changing digital landscape. So we are dedicated to upskilling the workforce to prepare them for the future, helping them through digital literacy and skills.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for that.